番遅く寝て一番早く起きる。頂点を目指すんだもの。当然よ。無理なん達成。確認を忘れずにな。
見つかっちゃった。たくさんイベントミッション頑張ってご褒美もらっちゃおう。
貴重限定ミッションだ。お、トレーニングか。よし、目指す。
みんなの願いを力に変えて。
あなたとウマ娘のお話はとても興味深いですね。
お前もなかなかなやつだよな。トレーナー、何してんだ？俺はブラブラしてるに決まってんだろ。休みって割と暇だよな。そうだ、こういう時はテンション上げに行くに限る。バイクだバイク。もちって言いたいところだけど、俺持ってねえんだよバイク。エアライダーっつうかさ。っていうわけでバイク屋行こうぜ。バイク屋バリバリの新型2人で拝みにさ。おー、トレーナー見ろ。あれがウマハの ZX7 班だ。バカでけえタンク、そして精鋭的な流線型のフォルム。またがってエンジンに火を入れた瞬間、俺は風になる。すっげえよっべなんだよ、なめでみんなよ。バイクは俺の憧れなんだからよ。父ちゃんが大のバイク好きでよく後ろに乗せてもらってたんだ。ま、買えやしねえんだけどな。ダービー制覇と同じくなかなか手の届くもんじゃ。制覇記念って俺がダービー勝ったのか？おいおいおい、夢を叶えて憧れまでゲットなんてそんなのロマンすぎんだろ。よし、約束だかんな。俺とあんたの、そう、俺たちが組めばできないことは何もねえ。おー、熱くなってきやがった。体がうずうずして。こうなったら浜辺までひとっ走りだ。バイクはねえからこの足で。おりゃ気持ちいいもんだな。たまにはターフじゃなくてロードをかけるのも。汗ばんだ肌に潮風、たまんねえぜ。かっこいいってのはまさにこういう。なあトレーナー、変なこと聞くけど、かっこいいと強いって違うのかな。俺強いやつよりかっこいいやつを目指してんだよな。強いはまあかっこいいの一部っていうか。ほらこの間負けたのに見栄を張ったら鼻で笑われちまっただろ。それが気になっててさ。俺にとってかっこいいのは父ちゃんで、 強いのは母ちゃんなんだよな。父ちゃんはバイク乗りでさ、レーサーとかじゃないんだけど、いつも俺を乗せてあちこち連れて行ってくれたんだ。で、よく言っててさ、いつだってギリギリで生きろとか、涙は風に流しちまえとか、父ちゃんはいつだって決まってた。でも母ちゃんは全然違うタイプでさ、いつも父ちゃんの尻をピシピシ叩いて家を切り回して、おまけに自分の足で走ってもバイク並みに速かった。オンロードでもオフロードでも、なんつったってウマ娘だからな。そうなんだよ。でも俺が追いかけてるのは父ちゃんの背中の方でさ、このまま追いかけても仕方ねえのかな。かといって強い母ちゃんの真似すんのが理想かっつうと、そうも割り切れなくてなあ。俺の生き方間違ってんのか？かっこよさを一番に目指すってのおかしいのかな。そっか、トレーナーがそう言うんなら、まあ大きくずれちゃいないのかもな。前なら考えなかったことがたまに浮かんでもやっちまってさ。お前もなかなかなやつだよな。
おめでとうございます。寒なんてないわ。この程度全然平気だし。ほら、トレーニングするわよ。
子供たちには困ったが、昔のブライアンの相手の方が体力面では。
よーし、これで完璧。みんなおいで。お外でご飯大丈夫。
やるぞ。やるぞ。やるぞ。やるぞ。やるぞ。やるぞ。やるぞ。やるぞ。やるぞ。私は本当にいい友人に恵まれた。二人の気持ち。
お、トレーニングか？よし、目指すか、将棋よ。
I may just become a gamer again. New Year's resolution, right? If I'm not talking much, it's because I'm a little bit under the weather.
これからもぶっちぎりでいこうぜ。
ハッピーバースデーお祝いしてあげてるんだから。エアグルーヴ先輩って
Yeah, it's nothing worth getting right now. Start another career, but let's just do a different girl this time. Doo-doo. Why not? I probably won't get through this entire career tonight because I do want to do maybe 1 or 2 React videos. I've got some ideas and I've got YouTube pulled up on another scene here in OBS, so. But we'll get to that maybe in an hour or so. So I'm gonna have to watch the time. I tested my audio settings before I started the stream and everything seems to be good, but if something's off, go ahead and just let me know in the chat. Awesome, good to know. 2 for 2. And for my first stream last night, I was able to successfully port it over to YouTube after the fact, but it wasn't live. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that on my own. Somebody recommended that I use a program called, I think, Restream. I'll have to look it up. But that allows you to simulcast on multiple streaming platforms at once, and I'll probably explore that option once I get used to operating on Twitch. Yeah, you could say that, Koos. And I was horsing around yesterday. I probably should have rested her. Shit. Oh well. Hello.
ここは負けられない一番人気7番待機シャドウ。
実力は完全に上位ですね。貫禄すら感じてしまいます。相性抜群のマイルで素晴らしい走りを期待したいですね。
晴れ渡る空の下行われる東京レース場ダート1600メイクデビュー。9人の馬娘たちが挑みます。虎視眈々と上位を狙っています。3番人気は4番2番人気を紹介しましょう。2番、さあ今日の主役はこの馬娘を置いて他にいない。本日の1番人気待機シャトル。
私が一番期待している馬娘、気合い入れてほしいですね。
ゲートイン完了。出走の準備が整いました。スタート。各馬娘綺麗なスタートを切りました。
これは位置取りが熾烈になりそうですね。
先行争いは待機シャトル。8番5番芝からダートに入ります。期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気待機シャトル。8番快調に飛ばして行きます。 先頭を行ったのは8番、続いて6番、外を通りまして待機シャトル、4番手に2番、3番追走、すぐに続いて5番、内には1番、4番並んでくる、さらに外から9番、8番先頭を進みますが、これは正解でしょうか。
8番彼女の客室には合っていますね。
依然として8番続きました。6番その後から待機シャトル、さらには5番少し離れて3番少し後ろから2番外、1番外から9番、大欅を越え4コーナーへ、まだ1馬身以上の差があるぞ。ここから捉えることができるのか。さあいよいよ直線だ。
Are you ready? ここから本当の真剣勝負ぜ。
I think that animation's about as epic as vodka drinking from the flask whenever she wins a race. 'She didn't need any rest. Needless to say, I'm gonna rest her after this race anyway.
2着には5番、3着3番。
Yes! I'm a winner!
I don't know if playing these songs for too long triggers like the copyright strike, so I only do these for about 15 seconds and I quit. Just so you get a taste of what the song is like. Besides, I've heard Make Debut so many times, I'm almost tired of the song, really. Gator, you just have to keep playing and level up your haunts and build legacies. That's what you gotta do. I'm regularly getting like B's anytime I race now, so yeah, or do careers. I wonder if I should just do the theory of like maxing out just one, maybe two stats. Like I almost did that yesterday when I was running vodka. I was just heavily focused on speed, and by the time her career ended, I think I was at over like 900 for speed. And just so you know, I have had failures happen at 1%. So always be skeptical of the percentages. That's just some computer trying to trick you.
りして授業中しっかりレッツドゥイ私に任せてください。トレーナーさん Here we go! もう足がハートについて
Okay, I rested her up before this race. Have to go through the Unity Cup though first.
準備は完璧のパーフェクト。
Do do do.
何事もノープロブレム。ビクトリー目指します。そんなもんやい。ビクトリー
And she seems so enthusiastic.
私たちがウィナーです。
Can't win them all though.
何事もノープロブレム。最後まで集中してみせます。準備は完璧。
ここは負けられない一番人気11番。
レッツゴー。
美しい青空が広がる京都レース場。ターフも絶好の両馬場になりました。
十分に実力を出せるレースとなりそうですね。
Oh hell yeah,
3
twin
番人気には
turbo.
ツインターボ。この評価は少し不満か。2番人気はこの子ダイワスターレット。スタンドに押しかけたファンの期待を一身に背負って1番人気待機シャトル。
私が一番期待している馬娘、気合い入れてほしいですね。
ゲートイン完了。出走の準備が整いました。スタート。各馬娘揃って綺麗なスタートを切りました。
これは位置取りが熾烈になりそうですね。
先行争いはツインターボ。9番2番期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気待機シャトルツインターボ快調に飛ばしていきます。先頭集団を見ていきましょう。先頭はツインターボ単身で飛ばしていきます。2番手の位置で先頭を伺うのは9番外から待機シャトル。2番続いている外目をついてダイワスターレット。ここまでが先頭集団。さあ花に立ったのはツインターボ。このままリードすることができるか。続いて待機シャトル。3番手にダイワスターレット。4番手に9番5番手に2番そしてその後ろから行くのは5番そして外目を突き出しては10番
Okay, I feel the Benadryl working now.
少し離れて4番少し後ろから8番後方2番手に1番第4コーナーを進んで直線へ向かう。
勝負どころ、最後の直線へとかけていきます。
この直線で勝負
Yeah,
が
these
決まるか。
allergies are killing me. That's why I sound like this, but hey, here's what it is.
これは強い。第1シャトル。
I'll tell you this much. Anytime
のんびりしている暇はあります。
I click on speed, I'm going to click on wit because it's blue, but when I click on
やってみせます。
speed for training, I think, what's that song lyric? She's going the distance. She's going for speed.
私に任せてください。Here we go! うわっ、体がポンと。トレーナーさん、よろしく。Let's do it! いざトレーニングタイム。期待にしっかり。準備は完璧のパーフェクトです。いつでもかかってこいです。何事もの。
ここは負けられない1番人気8番。
レッツゴー。
世代最速を自負する馬娘が府中に集う NHK マイルカップ。人気と実力を兼ね備えた成田ブライアン、今日は3番人気です。2番人気を紹介しましょう。動くか。さあ今日の主役はこの馬娘を置いて他にいない1番人気待機シャトル。
火花散らすデッドヒートに期待しましょう。
各馬娘ゲートに入って体勢整いました。スタートです。各馬娘揃って綺麗なスタートを切りました。
みんな集中してましたね。好レースが期待できそうです。
先行争いはアイネス封じ15番串焼け物。期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気待機シャトルアイネス封じ快調に飛ばしていきます。先頭はアイネス封じ単身で飛ばしていきます。2番手の位置で先頭を伺うのは15番激しい先頭争い。さらに内から1番少し離れて18番待機シャトル落ち着かない様子。
冷静さを取り戻せるといいのですが。
先頭を行ったのは15番続きましたアイネス封じ。そしてその外18番そしてその内から行ったのは1番富士奇跡。続いている1馬身離れて串焼け物2番並んできた。大手焼きを越え4コーナーへ。まだ
Come on, come on. イェーイ。
実力をいかなく発揮しレースを制したやりました大気シャトルここ府中の島で見事マイル王に輝いた2着富士奇跡3着は菱焼け物
次のレースも刀開けます。
This is a good song. I don't care what anyone says. I know we skipped it, but you should do everything you can to listen to it. So, I don't have this rule like most VTubers do, but I figured I'd mention it. A certain fish VTuber decided to stream again tonight. I think she's doing karaoke. I don't know if the stream's over or not. I only caught some clips on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. It's always good when she sings. She has a great singing voice. Truth be told, I want to do karaoke, but I can't find many instrumental or karaoke tracks of a lot of the songs I would want to sing, and it's not just Japanese songs. I've been on a kick of listening to like 90s music recently, early 2000s, late 90s rock music, and there's some songs that I kind of like have in my head that I want to sing when my voice gets a little better, maybe.
かなり苦労する馬場ですね。コース取りにも注意です。
3番人気はこの子です。エルコンドルパサー。2番人気を紹介しましょう。マルゼンスキー。
That song was giving you Eurodance vibes. Like modern, current Eurodance or Eurobeat, or old school, like 90s Eurodance. They're a little bit different. Interestingly enough, I'll say this: if you really like Eurobeat, you've obviously listened to like Dave Rogers and some of the other artists that do the super Eurobeat CDs or albums. I don't know how many there are now. There's got to be like 400. I have a few of the earlier ones from before Eurobeat got really popular with Initial D, and that was around, I think, like volume 80 or 90. And if you listen to the very early Super Eurobeat volumes, like through like 1 through maybe 70. Those albums, the songs on there, before like some of them were remixed for like later albums, like anniversary albums, like 100, 150, and so forth. Those, the pace and the tempo and the timing of the songs on like volumes 1 through 70 is much closer to like 90s Euro dance than it is Eurobeat, what we think of as Eurobeat.
Yes! I'm a winner!
Might as well pick that one up. Oh, the Cinderella Grey duo. Let's see how much I get my ass kicked. Hey, not badly. I mean, they're only 1 rank ahead of me. Five for 5. Take that. She's going the distance. She's going for speed. Remember what I was saying, the first choice is usually the best one.
ここは負けられない1番人気3番。
長く続いたマイル路線も終わりを迎える王者誕生マイルチャンピオンシップ。3番人気にはミホノブルボン。この評価は少し不満か。2番人気はこの子サイレンス鈴鹿。威風堂々とスタートを待つのはこの馬娘。本日の1番人気待機シャトル。
気合十分いい顔してますね。
各馬娘ゲートに入って体勢整いました。スタート。各馬娘揃って綺麗なスタートを切りました。
みんな集中してましたね。好レースが期待できそうです。
先行争いはサイレンス鈴鹿ツインターボ。
While you all are watching this race, I'm gonna heat up another cup of tea real quick. I'll be right back.
単身で飛ばしていきます。2番手の位置で先頭を伺うのはツインターボ。早くも激しい競り合い。3番手にミホノブルボン。2馬身3馬身開いて待機シャトル。1馬身差牛明ボノ。さらにその外からは18番12番並んでくる。15番並びかけてきた。そしてその内からいったのはビコーペガサス。1馬身差キングヘイロー。5番並んできた。17番並んでくる。1馬身離れて10番さらに内4番差がなくゴールドシティ。6番並んできた。第4コーナーカーブ。
内から来るか外から来るか最後の局面です。
勝負は最後の直線に持ち越された。まだ差がある。ここから先頭を捉える子は出てくるのか。この右は外しません。さあ先頭を伺うのは第1セカンド。ギリギリ詰める第1セカンド。残り大きく最終コーナーを抜いて最初に立ち上がったのはサイレンス鈴鹿第1セカンド。並びかけてきた第1セカンド。抜け出した100を通過サイレンス鈴鹿。食い下がる強すぎる。3番手争いはビコーペガサス必死当て者。他の馬娘たちをねじ伏せレースを制した待機シャトル。並みいるライバルを蹴散らして見事マイル女王に輝いた。2着にはサイレンス鈴鹿、3着ビコーペガサス。
バン。次のレースも風穴開けます。
And I'm back. Since you like Eurodance so much, I'll let you listen to just a little bit of this song.
最高の時ただ求めては千歩の渦の中立ち向かうと決めた。覚悟は手放さないリスクはいつもギリギリでパワーになる。そう気づいたの情熱に焦がされて。
Okay, that's enough of that. Another great song you should listen to. I think I'll be able to complete this career. I won't have to quit in the middle, and then I'll do a couple of react videos, and that'll be the stream for tonight.
描いてみせます。何事もノープロブレム。ビクトリー目指します。
I was kind of expecting Gold Ship to lose, but I guess not.
私たちウィナーです。のんびりしている暇はトレーニングタイム。ワイルドに Here we go!
She doesn't have a lot, but she has guts. And guts is good enough.
トレーナーさんパワーが授業中しっかり寝てきました。つまりトレLet's do it! のんびりしている暇はありません。
Yeah, she's totally inspired. Ooh, I better rest her.
授業中しっかり寝てきました。トレーナーさん、何から始めましょうか。Here we go! 準備は完璧のパーフェクトです。
Somehow my timing this career always has me pressing them literally right before the race. And it's just enough that it brings them back to almost full health.
Could
ここは負けられない1番人気7番 快速自慢が集う東京マイル安田記念。春のマイル王は誰の手に。
My tea should be done, so once again, I'll be right back. I'll let you watch the
2番
race.
人気を紹介しましょう。ウォッカ、威風堂々とスタートを待つのはこの馬娘。本日の1番人気待機シャトル。
火花散らすデッドヒートに期待しましょう。
ゲートイン完了。出走の準備が整いました。今スタートが切られました。各馬娘綺麗なスタートを切りました。
誰が先頭に抜け出すか注目しましょう。
先行争いは成田ブライアン、石明ボノ、待機シャトル。期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気待機シャトル。さあ花に立ったのは3番。このままリードすることができるか。先頭から大きく離されて2番手は石明ボノ、待機シャトル。上がっていきます。
スタミナを切らさないか心配です。
動くか。落ち着かない様子。3番快調に飛ばしていきます。各馬娘一段となって団子状態の大混戦。
これだけ密集していると紛れがありそうですね。
3番まだリードをキープしています。続いて待機シャトル。それを見るように成田ブライアン、石明ボノ並んできた。さらにはオグリーキャップ。大欅を越え4コーナーへ。さあいよいよ直線だ。どのタイミングで誰が仕掛けるのか。待機シャトル前を狙っているぞ。さあここから先頭を狙うのは待機シャトル。さあ誰が最初に仕掛けるのか。待機シャトル2番手につけ様子を見守る。
この車は外しません。
最終コーナー最初に駆け抜けてきます。待機シャトル抜け出した。待機シャトル先頭は待機シャトル。これは強い。栄光まで400。待機シャトル強い。強すぎる。完全に抜け出した。200を通過。待機シャトルリードは5馬身。待機シャトル足色は衰えない。先頭は変わらず。待機シャトル後ろに突き出して。待機シャトルゴールイン。圧巻の走りでレースを制した。
She won again! Yay!
戦を制覇。見事マイル界の頂点に立ちました。2着にはウオッカ。
次のレースも刀開けます。ファミリーやフレンズにはライブも見てもらいたいですから、トレーニング頑張ります。準備は完璧のパーフェクト。何事もノープロブレム。ビクトリー目指します。こんなもんやい。やったね。まあ当然だよね。のんびりしている暇は。遊ぼうぜ。私レッツドゥイット。パワーがオミー私に任せて。もう足がハートにつく。期待にしっかり応えてみせます。目指す準備は。
注目の1番人気4番待機シャトル。
実力は完
気配が近づく中山に快速自慢が集う電光石火スプリンターズステークス。虎視眈々と上位を狙っています。3番人気はオグリキャップ。この評価は少し不満か。2番人気はこの子菱焼けぼの。さあ今日の主役はこの馬娘を置いて他にいない。ここまで無敗2大マイル戦覇者待機シャトル1番人気です。
火花散らすデッドヒートに期待しましょう。
Speaking of racehorses, I've got a piss like one, so I'll be right back.
今スタートが切られました。各馬娘揃って綺麗なスタートを切りました。
みんな集中してましたね。好レースが期待できそうです。
先行争いは待機シャトルカレンちゃん桜爆心王。待機シャトル先頭に立つのか。2番手の位置で先頭を伺うのは西のフラワー。すぐに続いてカレンちゃんとどめをついて桜爆心王。うちにはビコーペガサス。そしてそのうちオグリキャップ11番並んでくる。それを見るようにキングヘイロー。そのうち並んで5番外から行く15番内6番少し離れて8番第4コーナーカーブ。
ここからスパート。一気にレースが動きます。
この直線で勝負が決まるぞ。まだ1馬身以上の差があるぞ。ここから伝えることができるのか。中山の得点は短いぞ。後ろの子たちは間に合うか。第1セットの花を進む第1セットル。先頭は第1セットル。これは強い。残り200。第1セットルリードは2打数。先頭は第1セットル。変わらない強い。やりました第1セットル。見事な走りで勝利を手中に収めました。熾烈な電撃戦を制したのは大気シャトル。スプリンターズステークス完勝だ。2着はビフォーペガサス。
バン。次のレースも飾らなけば。
See what I missed here. Oh, she won again. What are you talking about? Gold Ship won. No, she didn't. Let's keep going for speed. It's working so far.
トレーナーさんよろしく。
Alright, we'll go for power this time since it's got the pretty little rainbow around it.
It's a training time. ナイス。ワクワクが止まりません。早くゲートインしたいです。足の調子もグー。
注目の1番人気8番待機シャト
人気と実力を兼ね備えた。
レッツゴー。
長く続いたマイル路線も終わりを迎える。王者誕生、マイルチャンピオンシップ。人気と実力を兼ね備えたオグリキャップ、今日は3番人気です。この評価は少し不満か。2番人気はこの子、サイレンス鈴鹿。威風堂々とスタートを待つのはこの馬娘。ここまで無敗、2大マイル戦覇者待機シャトル、1番人気です。満を持して連覇に挑みます。各馬娘、ゲートに入って体勢整いました。今スタートが切られました。各馬娘、綺麗なスタートを切りました。
誰が先頭に抜け出すか注目しましょう。
期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気、待機シャトル、待機シャトル、上がっていきます。
スタミナを切らさないか心配です。
サイレンス鈴鹿、会長に飛ばして行きます。サイレンス鈴鹿、先頭に立ちました。2番手の位置で先頭を伺うのはダイワスカーレット、10番、3番手。それを見るように待機シャトル、2馬身離れて石明物、1馬身差15番、そのうち並んで1番、少し後ろから4番、内をついて2番、外から行く17番、さらに7番、そして外目をつきましてはナイスネイチャー11番、並んでくる。それを見るようにキングヘイロー、その外並んでオグリキャップ、さらにその外からはリコーペガサス、後方2番手に5番6番、最高峰だサイレンス鈴鹿、先頭を進みますがこれは正解でしょうか。
サイレンス鈴鹿、彼女の客室には合っていますね。
第4コーナーカーブ、
勝負どころ、最後の直線へとかけていきます。
まだ1馬身以上の差があるぞ。ここから捉えることができるのか。勝負は最後の直線に持ち越された。残り40、最後のコーナー、最初に駆け抜けてきたのはサイレンス鈴鹿、飛び込んできた待機シャトル、並びかけてきたのは待機シャトル、残り200点、待機シャトル、足を衰える待機シャトル。
It's gonna be dramatic. Oh yeah.
西明子のお見事、待機シャトル、着差以上の強さを見せた見事な勝利です。待機シャトル、並みいるライバルを蹴散らして見事マイル女王に輝いた。2着はサイレンス鈴鹿、3着はダイワスカーレット。
Daiwa Scarletto. I love the announcer.
レースも傘が開けます。ファミリーやフレンズには
All right.
もらいたいです
You are a finale.
Here we go! トレーナーさん Let's do it! コンディションも上々。ワクワクが止まります。ビクトリー目指します。私がもっと
Haha. Came from behind.
私たちウィナーです。
This is also a good song, so I'm going to play just a little bit of it. Alright, that's enough of that. I know, right? They're idols.
ファミリーやフレンズにはライブも見てもらいたいですから。
I'm gonna arrest her.
コンディションの上々。心配。
I don't think I have enough skill points for any skill. Like the lowest cost for skill points I've seen for any skill has been in the, I think, the high 60s.
ここは負けられない一番人気15番。あいにくの雨がスタートです。各馬娘綺麗なスタートを切りました。
これは位置取りが熾烈になりそうですね。
これから第2コーナーへかかっていきます。サイレンス鈴鹿とツインターボ、この2人が競り合っているぞ。期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気待機シャトル、サイレンス鈴鹿快調に飛ばしていきます。先頭をかけます。サイレンス鈴鹿、続いてツインター、後からマヤのトップガン、1馬身離れてダイワスカーレット、その後から西のフラワー、待機シャトル並びかけてきた。そしてその後方には5番4番並んでくる。少し離れて16番2馬身3馬身開いてエイシンフラッシュ内を回ります。成田大使、その後8番11番追走、すぐに続いて3番後方2番手に13番、そして最後方2番サイレンス鈴鹿、先頭を進みますがこれは正解でしょうか。
サイレンス鈴鹿、彼女の客室には合っていますね。
まもなく第4コーナーカーブ。
馬娘たちがどう動くか目が離せません。
先頭は見合ったまま、これは直線勝負になるか。まだ1馬身以上の差があるぞ。
1着の前は外しません。
Ah.
中山の直線が短いぞ。後ろの子たちは間に合うか。上がってきた大気シャトル、大気シャトル見事なごぼう抜きを見せる。残り200、先頭相手サイレンス鈴鹿、サイレンス鈴鹿。
Oh shit. Uh-oh. Oh. Ooh.
追いすがるサイレンス鈴鹿、2人もつれたままゴールイン。待機シャトル URA
Did you see that?
を制しました。2着にはサイレンス鈴鹿、3着ツインターボ。
Yeah. Woo. By a head. Wow. Yeah, you know, moments like that make this game so fucking worth it.
トレーナーさん、何から始めましょうか。
Alright. Yeah, we'll do guts. She demonstrated it.
ワクワクが止まりません。コンディションの上々。足のちょ。ワクワクがと。
Here's the semifinal.
注目の1番人気5番
レッツゴー。
美しいよ。今スタートが切られました。各馬娘綺麗なスタートを切りました。
みんな集中してましたね。好レースが期待できそうです。
待機シャトル上がっていきます。
ちょっと前に出ましたね。
期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気待機シャトル6番快調に飛ばしていきます。さあ花に立ったのは6番、このままリードすることができるか。2番手の位置で先頭を伺うのは11番9番、続いている4番手藤木関岩林で続いている。そして内目をつきましては待機シャトル、その後ろから8番1馬審査アグネスタピオン、少し後ろからキングヘイローウォッカ並びかけてきた。それを見るようにリコーペガサス1馬審査ゴールドシティ、あとは15番とどめをついて16番大欅を越え4コーナーへ。先頭は見合ったまま、これは直線勝負になるか。待機シャトルまだ抑えたままだ。
Come on, come on. 1 more to go, and that's the final. Is there any skill I can actually buy? No, I don't have enough. Alright, here we go. Only number 3, huh?
今スタートが切られました。各馬娘綺麗なスタートを切りました。
みんな集中してましたね。好レースが期待できそうです。
これから第2コーナーへかかっていきます。先行争いはアイネス・プージン、マルゼンスキー、ニコノ・ブルボ、期待通りの結果を出せるか。1番人気ビターグラッセ、向こう上面に入って先頭からしんがりまでおよそ12馬身。ニコノ・ブルボ快調に飛ばして行きます。先頭はニコノ・ブルボ単身で飛ばして行きます。2番手の位置で先頭を伺うのはマルゼンスキー、早くも激しい競り合い。3番手にはアイネス・プージン、ビターグラッセ、ここにいます。その外並んでオグリーキャップ、13番追走内の方から待機シャトル、7番並びかけてきた。その外並んで12番1馬審査、8番少し離れて11番、さらに外からリトルココ、4番並びかけてきた。少し離れて9番ハッピーミーク、並んできた。大欅を越え4コーナーへ。この直線で勝負が決まるぞ。まだ1馬身以上の差があるぞ。ここから捉えることができるのか。ビーターグラッセ、
If I can go. Oh. Yes. Woo. By 2.5 lengths too. Not bad.
今ここに優秀たちの頂点が誕生です。2着ビーターグラッセ、3着ミホノブルボン。次のレースも風穴開けます。
Of course, everybody knows Umamusume Densetsu, so... But I love it so much, we'll play it a little bit. Alright. What a great career. That's probably the best one I've done so far, I think. Let's see if I get an A. Oh, B plus? Come on, I'm almost there.
Watashi, 強くなれました
11 for 11. I think that's the first time I've ever done that in a career. I'm not going to make it a point to edit any teams, so
達成確認を忘れずにな
collect all our goodies.
見つかっちゃったたくさんイベントミッション頑張ってご褒美もらっちゃおう貴重限定ミッションだこの歴代評価点をとおそれ達成確認を忘れずになエアグルーヴ先輩ってやっぱり面白い日になったね
I was going to say earlier, this game reminds me a little bit of... You remember that one game in the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time where you it was bowling? It was a Bombchu bowling alley is what they called it, I think. That's what this reminds me of. It's always the last 2 or 3 that are hard to get to. I got one. Okay. Alright, now I need that, I need this one. I'm terrible at this game, so maybe I should just let it spin for me. Yeah, Bombchu Alley. The Bombchu Bowling Alley. I think maybe it's the music.
やっぱり面白い日になったねマヤサンタも負けないよタキヨンさんって優しいわよね美味しい茶葉も分けてくれるしお役立ちグッズもくれるし
Alright, that's enough for Umamusume. I want to do a couple of react videos just to try it out. So, gonna switch scenes here. Need to do a better job of transitions, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so I did a YouTube search for Miata, as you can see here. And let's see what pops up. I've seen some of these videos before. I've seen that one. I need something that's relatively recent that I haven't seen, but it's not like 15 minutes long. I don't want to do a 15-minute long video. 10 minutes. I don't know about that though. Zygreen. Okay, I don't think I've seen this. I much prefer the GT over the club, but I'm curious to see what he has to say. So
all right,
we'll
guys,
do
another
this one.
day, another ND3 Miata. I've reviewed so many of those. I actually went through my ZPI index the other day and found 15 entries for various ND generations of Miata, ND1, ND2, ND3. And I've driven some of those examples multiple times. So we're talking about probably close to 20 different videos on my channel over the years. And yet here we are in another example. I get so many offers to review these cars, and there's a good reason. So not only am I going to review this particular example of the ND3 today, but I want to talk bigger picture. Why is this car, the ND Miata in general, and Miatas in general, so popular, and why I don't want one? So let's start off with...
Well, first of all, just a note about that. Throughout the ND generation of the Miata, which is now spanning 10 model years, going on 11, Mazda hasn't released any 2026 model year information yet, although it seems like almost every year the Miata is always like the last of their cars that they give information on. But they consistently sell. You know how even with sports cars, year after year after year, the further the model year you go, the less sales they have. That's not been the case with the ND. It's been consistent pretty much at about 8,000 to 9,000, at least here in the US, per model year. And I think they sold over 8,000 this past year in 2025. They sold that amount in 2024. I think the two best years were 2017 and 2021, where both years they broke 10,000. But that kind of consistency, I heard Mazda wants to keep the ND around till maybe 2030. I don't think they're going to keep it around that far, but they probably have backup plans or provisions to do that, even though I think the next generation is in development. And just so you know, Road and Track did an article a few years ago about, I think, the 8 greatest sports cars of all time, and the Miata did make it among the 8, but it wasn't the NA generation that made it. Hint, hint.
The mods. The owner Mike modified this to be a street and canyon car. We've got the Super Miata Tecna Sport coilovers with the Swift Spring upgrade. We have an alignment, 2.5 degrees of camber up front, 2 degrees in the back. For wheels and tires, we've got
Datsun
the Flying
510.
Miata
That's pretty neat.
17x9 plus 45. Actually, that's S2000 fitment. Crazy that I know that. And we're running Toyo Proxys Sport tires. They're 235/40/17 all around. We've also got this Craven Speed short shift kit, a custom shift knob, a Goodwin Racing front strut tower brace, and an HKS Legamax Sport exhaust. Pretty standard mods, bolt-ons, suspension.
I have a friend who has the Legamax. If we scroll back a little bit, that shift knob, by the way, kind of reminds me of the S2K shift knob.
HKS Legamax Sport exhaust.
Yeah, I have a friend who has that. I actually helped install it on his new ND that he got.
These standard mods, bolt-ons, suspension, short shifter. We also have an aftermarket throttle pedal. And this is a club without the Brembo BBS Recaro package. So we got the base seats, the base floating calipers up front. They're not the Brembos. And of course the BBS wheels, which Mike already swapped out.
I'm not a fan of the
Recaros,
color is
by
the way.
The Zircon Sand. I absolutely love it. I think it really pops and it stands out compared to all the Soul Red Crystal Metallic Miatas out there. Not that
if you want to do an off-road spec of an ND Miata, this is the color you get. But Mazda doesn't offer this color anymore. They did it for only 2 years, 23 and 24. So last year of the ND2, first year of the ND3. So in case you're wondering why this is sounding like an ND buyer's guide, but
that color's not amazing. But
I'm going to have that video for you relatively soon, and I'm excited to do it. once my throat gets a little bit better, I think.
This one just has a little bit more flair to it, in my opinion. This is powered, of course, by the 2-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder found in the ND2 as well. This makes 181 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. 6-speed manual transmission with an LSD, since only the base sport model comes with an open diff. Being a soft top, this only weighs around 2,300 pounds. Double wishbone front suspension, multi-link rear, electric power steering. I've gone through these specs so many times, I can rattle these numbers off like nobody's business. But let's talk about how this particular car drives, and bigger picture, why the Miata is so popular. And I think it's actually quite telling that the owner, Mike, used to have a Camaro SS1LE, and while he appreciated the performance of that car, it just didn't speak to him emotionally. He actually replaced that with this. He went down close to 300 horsepower, but also 1,500 plus pounds. And he likes this car way, way more. Shout out to Kevin Jabal up there, driving an E60 M5, for making this review possible.
Oh my god, your camera's shaking
nice
way too
short
much.
Shifter here, this Craven Speed short shift kit. It shortens the throws, obviously, but it also makes the shift action a bit higher effort, a bit more mechanical. Is it an upgrade over stock? I mean,
that's a little unusual for
Zygrene. The stock shifter is already
Zygrene.
so good, and I like the lightness of it, the low effort. But if you prefer a more S2000-like shift feel, this does a great job.
Gator Nation, if it was orange, it sounds like it was a 30th anniversary edition. 2019.
Oh yeah, just the nimbleness of this car, the purity
I know
of it,
somebody who has
the
one.
direct steering. Not a ton of feedback through the steering, but great load up, great on center feel, very precise. But I've already said all of these things before. Let's talk about why this car is so popular, at least in my view. And it comes down to a few things. Number one, most importantly, it's that it's affordable. Obviously, if you fully spec out a Club, RF, Brembo, BBS, Recaro, all that stuff, you're looking at over $40,000, maybe closer to 45, and that is no small sum of money for a 2-door sports car. Okay, this Jeep is driving a bit erratically, but when you think bigger picture in the landscape of brand new cars, enthusiast driving cars that you can buy today, the fact that you can get these for $30,000, $35,000 in a decent trim level is pretty impressive. And although you're not getting much power, you're not getting much of anything, this is a small, lightweight car, the fact that it's so pure, that's what makes it so enjoyable. What other car today will give you this unfiltered of a driving experience? High revving, naturally aspirated engine that lets you wind it out on basically any road because it's less than 200 horsepower. Get that beautiful rotation on throttle thanks to this limited slip differential, retuned for the ND3 generation for increased corner entry stability, and all in all, you just get such an enjoyable little car. They've made millions of Miatas over the years, from NA to ND, but I would argue that in today's day and age, the Miata is actually not so much of an emotional.
I think they passed 1.2 million, and I want to say, if nobody's totaled the number since 2020, but with Mazda's sales stats that they release at the end of every year, I'm beginning to think the ND has outsold the NC and is right on the NB's heels for total number produced. Of course, it'll never catch up to the NA. Over 400,000 of those are made, but I know NB, I think they made about 280,000, and the NC they made only like 220. I want to say the ND's around 230 or 240 right now.
purchase. At least if I were to buy one, it would not be an emotional purchase. And I think that probably holds true for many people.
So if you bought
The
one,
Miata, if you really think about it, is the logical choice. If you want something that you
the Miata might not necessarily be an emotional choice when you buy it, but chances are you will love the car enough that you'll realize it's an emotional choice after the fact.
can drive every single day and drive hard in the canyons, on the track, and just beat on it 10/10ths, improve your driving skills in the process, and have very little to worry about in terms of ownership costs. And I'm talking reliability, maintenance, even aftermarket upgrades, because there's such a massive aftermarket
Taking
for this
my
car
medicine,
with so
sorry.
many different options available for suspension, brakes, chassis stiffening, wheels, exhaust, intake, aero. I mean, the options are limitless. So you can take this car as a blank canvas and build it exactly how you want. And that is actually quite a unique proposition. Even
Yeah.
though the car itself,
So many people complain about how, oh, the ND has too much body roll from the factory compared to the other generations. It's like, get yourself a decent set of coilovers and maybe replace the sway bars. That's all you got to do. But some people like that, you know? So it's great from the factory. And if you want to change it, it's not that hard to do it. And it's not that expensive either.
is common, and there's such a great community around these cars. And when you think about it from that perspective, $30,000 to $40,000 is a small price to pay for all the value that you're getting. If you're a driving enthusiast, if you want to do track days, canyon runs, have a great time with very low risk, this is the way to do it. But here's why I don't want one. Admittedly, I am someone who likes to buy cars that other people don't really think too much about. Cars that I don't really see out on the road very often. Even though the 3 cars in my personal garage right now are all reliable Japanese cars, I rarely see any of them on the road. Sometimes it takes months or years to see another NC1 NSX or Integra Type S on the road. If I were to be totally logical about it, with a 3-car garage, I would have gone with a dedicated track car, something like this ND3 Miata with modifications, a practical daily driver that's not really an enthusiast car, maybe a crossover, or maybe something like a BMW X5 that can actually tow my track car to the track.
I hate
and then I would have
BMW
one third
X5s.
car that can be more emotional, something like
Sorry.
an NSX that I take out on date nights, and is more of a special occasion type of car. I obviously didn't do that. I went with 3 emotional purchases because those cars just speak to me in a way that unfortunately the Miata doesn't. Even though I really love driving properly modified examples of this car, especially on track. And another big part of that is just simply due to the fact that I've driven so many examples. This is not a new experience for me anymore. I thrive on new driving experiences and ownership experiences. And the Miata has kind of become the new S2000 in my world. I've driven so many different examples on street and track, and there's no longer any novelty to it. So even though objectively it's probably the right car and should have a spot in my garage, I just can't bring myself to do it. That's not to take anything away from this platform. It's amazing. Millions of people have enjoyed and loved and cherished their Miatas. This is a great example of how to modify a Miata as an all-around excellent sports car. The Super Miata Technic coilovers with the Swift Spring upgrade, I might add, does improve the handling of this car on a bumpy road compared to the standard springs. The HKS Legamax exhaust is excellent. It opens up the sound of this otherwise muted engine. The wheels and tires are an absolute must if you want that nice aesthetic stance. I mean, there's so many ways to modify this, and I think Mike has done an excellent job.
My
I
ND's
really
about
like
that
the
height.
short shifter with this particular shift knob. It gives me major Honda S2000 vibes in terms of the shift feel. And in this excellent shade of Zircon Sand Metallic, it's quite a looker as well. I've always liked how the ND generation looks with the right mods, lowered, widened stance, in the right color. It's a timeless, beautiful sports car. I am just full of praise for the ND Miata, specifically the ND3. I think this is easily the best version of the Miata ever. Everything about it has just
arguable.
been dialed in and honed over the years.
There's a lot to
Yet
like
again,
about the
I
ND2.
just can't bring myself to buy one. It's just not that kind of emotional car for me. But let me know what you think about my thoughts on the Miata as a platform. Are any of you in the same boat where you recognize all the amazing qualities of this car, and yet you don't have the urge to own one? Why is that? I'd be really curious to know your thoughts on this topic. A big shout out to Mike once again and Kevin from the Jabal and Cars YouTube channel. Thank you guys as always for watching. Keep your Miata submissions coming. I will drive every Miata on the planet if given the opportunity. See you guys in the next one.
Let's find one more to watch, and then we'll call the stream. This one is a great video to watch, by the way, if you haven't. And so is this one, arguably. I want something that's less than 10 minutes long, though. So NA Miatas, I mean, in Japan, yeah, I kind of think there are more NAs than NBs in Japan. But everybody I know who has been to Japan, at least in the past few years, and they say NDs by far are the most common, as probably because of Japan's car tax structure. So I think I read a statistic though that there are about 20,000 registered NAs still in Japan. So, and given how many were originally produced for the market, that sounds about right. I'd say for the if I had to guess the number in the U.S., that's harder to do based on attrition. Miata's getting totaled, rusted away, all that other stuff. I know of the 400,000 plus NAs that were made, about 250,000 made it to the U.S. for the U.S. market. So my best guess is there could be about 50,000 NA Miatas still on the road. Maybe not on the road, but still have at least salvage titles for, well, maybe not that. You know what? There are probably 50,000 NA Miatas on the road in the United States because our inspection laws here aren't as strict as in other countries, even in the states that do require them. And we have a lot more land area that is conducive toward convertible weather, whether it's half of the year or the whole year. So this one's great. I was actually mentioned in this video, but you can watch it on your own. Finding a Miata for the silly wabbit. I should probably pick something soon. Let's just do ND Miata. I'm afraid to watch this video. Okay, this may be worth watching because I always say, you know, I own a GT, not a club. I prefer the GT to the club.
Woohoo! That's what we like, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, 2024 MX-5 Miata Grand Touring. And I wish I knew what to call this paint color. I've gotten a lot of compliments, not only from my girlfriend, but just from random strangers that stopped me to say, hey, love the color. It's like this light gray, not quite primer gray, and with the tan leather interior. It's really classy. It looks great. The wheels on the 2024 ND3, I think, polarizing. Not a big fan. I think the prior wheels were definitely better. For those who don't know, I actually own a 2024 ND3 Miata, but mine is the club with the BBR package. So that's the Brembo BBS Recaros. So the Brembo wheels, I think, are a big upgrade over these. With the Grand Touring, this is the top trim, starting off around $35K. But remember, if you want the BBR package, that only comes with the club, and that's a $4,500 option. Here, $35K, you're saving quite a bit of money by going soft top instead of hard top. And today I'm going to tell you how this compares to my ND3 Miata. I got these nice seat warmers. All right, a lot of you are gonna disagree with me. However, I find it ridiculous that I paid like 38, 39K for my Miata, and it does not have automatic headlights, and it does not have climate control. Single zone climate control in a small car like this, which I get is not the point of the car, but I think that the price of just adding climate control to my near $40,000
you get all
brand
that
new car
if you get that
in 2024 is not an unreasonable ask. I find this, the way that I like to use HVAC is I keep this on auto and I only change this if I'm too hot or too cold. That's how I do it in all my other cars. I love that, but in my Miata I have to manually adjust it. I know, first world problems, and then same with the headlights. I like to just leave it on auto. That's how I do it in my CX-50 as well as in my Amira. But I'm gonna tell you how she drives the top down. We're gonna turn traction completely off. We're powered by a naturally aspirated inline-4 2-liter engine making 181 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque, which isn't a lot, but as we're going uphill here,
I like what he does with the speedometer. He like censors it.
2,300 pounds. It is
Whatever
a featherweight.
He might
There's
be
a reason
speeding.
why they say Miata is always the answer. It's such a pure driving experience. Now, how it compares to mine, they're obviously way more similar than different. The seats, the Recaros, I think, are brilliant if you are going to be taking it to the track. But even for regular canyon driving like this, these regular seats, they're not bad, man. They're supportive
I prefer
enough.
those to the
If
Recaros.
you're going to be doing canyon carving regularly, then okay, maybe you actually do want the Recaros. But I think for most people, the regular seats are going to be adequate. The regular brakes are also going to be adequate, because the Brembos, what they do is they give you larger calipers in the front, but they don't change the rotor size, and of course the rear brakes are the same. And you're only going to feel that really if you're going hard on the canyons and especially downhill, or if you're going on track. So that's why I went with the BBRs. And then the BBS wheels, of course, as well. I love the new LSD because you can feel it at corner exit. You get more rotation. On street driving, as we're not really testing, we're not doing much trail braking coming into a corner hot. Can't really tell you about the LSD lockup, so it's supposed to add more stability at corner entry and more rotation at corner exit. You can definitely feel the additional corner exit rotation, but on street, the entry is less noticeable. That's going to be more noticeable on track, and we have reviewed the ND3 on track right up here. Amazing pedal position for heel toe. Getting more of that rotation right there. The other thing that really surprised me about driving this Grand Touring for the last few days is with the top up, there is such a big difference compared to my club with regards to highway noise. So my club on the highway, I can't really listen to music or to a podcast at a comfortable listening volume. Sure, you can crank the volume, but I just don't find that comfortable. I'm an old man, okay? So I will use my AirPods when I'm driving my Miata on the highway. But this, with the thicker, soft cloth top, it's quite a bit quieter. And as a result, it's still loud. It's still like, according to my Apple Watch, it's something like, what is that? 78, 79 decibels. It's still pretty loud, but it is noticeably quieter compared to my club soft top. That's a nice addition. Having the heated seats, which by the way my club also has, but heated seats with the top down, and you know, you can even crank the air up so that your legs are getting warm. It's
We're
actually
done
kinda
with the
cool. It's a nice
horses.
experience, even on these chillier days. You get the best of both worlds.
I used Taiki Shuttle, and
We'll push that down to second.
I think that was the
Seamless
first time I
and
got first in
smooth
every
and
single
buttery.
race.
Because although the throttle in the Miata is a little bit sluggish, you gotta get used to it. You may initially be under blipping it for rev matching. Once you get used to it, it is very natural. Oh, look at that sunset, dude. See, right there's an example, under blipping it on the heel toe. We've got double wishbone suspensions in the front. Help with that negative camber change as we get travel on that wheel. Have a better contact patch. Helps reduce understeer. And multi-link in the rear. They made some change from the NC to the ND, whereby you have this kinetic as well as compliance toe change. And the NC was a bit larger, so they actually made it toe out at corner entry and then toe in mid-corner and corner exit. Whereas here, it also, by the way, gave the NC a bit of this like slightly unstable nature, which I just found more fun than anything because it's more tail happy. But here it's more natural. The ND3, of course, has a better steering rack as well. Better on-center feel than the ND1, ND2. More texture.
I don't know about that. I've driven an ND3 hard, and I've driven ND1s and 2s, and I don't really feel much difference. You got to be flying into a corner at like 50 miles an hour, which I guess he's doing to be able to feel it.
And better load up mid-corner as well.
Some of you want me to do driving videos, kind of like what I did, where I just yap while I drive.
Well.
I'll have more of those over the next few weeks, so stay tuned on that.
There
Well,
we go. Man, top down, this view on this road. Life is good. Newer infotainment, same as my ND3, of course. Gotta love it. Modernizes the interior quite a bit. And I gotta say, with the club, you know, I only had black leather as the option. My ideal spec would have been
notice. Hold
a
on.
British Racing Green.
See that little thing right there? That is the speed limit on the road he's on. He has traffic sign recognition, which you don't get on the club, but you do get on the GT.
With tan leather interior, and a lot of us were speculating that the 35th anniversary edition was going to have
Ahoy!
British Racing Green with tan leather interior. Ended up not being the case. That would have been prime, but I think the Soul Red Crystal Metallic is my favorite red that comes on any car OEM.
It's the only red I
And
like.
with my colorblind sunglasses, it just pops in such a gorgeous, gorgeous way. And the red and black, of course, works quite well. Although red and tan interior would also be a little baby Ferrari spec in a way. Oh, the view! So willing to change direction as well. Front midshift, you can see the engine actually behind the front axle. They moved it even further back and lower compared to the NC, and they already had it pretty far back. So it's really impressive what Mazda has done. I love what the company is doing, which is why I own 2 Mazdas. I have a CX-50 as my daily driver and an ND3 Miata, which is going to be my track toy. Make sure you are subscribed if you want to see that whole track build and the experience, figuring out what mods are best for the ND3 Miata. But you see, the Grand Touring, I feel like it's best for those who don't actually want to track their car. They want to keep it on the street and they want to be comfortable.
That's me.
That thicker soft top, the climate control, and the automatic headlights, to me, make a meaningful change, a meaningful difference in the enjoyment and just pleasure of daily driving this thing. But of course I went with the Club because I am going to be tracking mine. But man, such an incredible recipe. The fact that we get this in 2024, I think is fantastic. Woohoo! That's what we like, baby. I'd say this and the GR86 are
That would have
my
been
two
sad
top
had he
picks
lost control and crashed into one of those other cars.
for a young beginner car enthusiast best vehicles. And the reason why I say those two in particular is because they have all the right ingredients, and you don't need a ton of power to have fun and to become a better driver. You just need a car that has good inputs, has good chassis balance, good dynamics, and is controllable. And that's how you up your game. And I learned on an FRS and a GR86, and I still have much to learn. I'm no...
I just noticed he has the seat warmer set to max.
I'm no Max Verstappen. I'm not even a Lance Stroll, right? Like, even that guy would kick my ass. But I think that when you have better tools like a Miata or GR86, it makes learning a lot easier. And if you were to start off with something more numb and heavier and more powerful, it's not necessarily more fun, actually. I would argue that you can have a lot of fun driving a slow car fast and upping your skill set. And hey, it's really fun when you have a slower car and you're getting point buys from cars that are 3 times the price, twice the power, and it's a positive feedback loop where you just get inspired to work on your craft and get better at driving. Look at that. I'm really happy with my Miata. I will be doing mods, but whether you want the more adult spec, I'm not going to call it old man spec, I'm going to call it adult spec, or you want the more track spec or track directional spec, because it's not really fully track spec by any means. Miata's got you covered, man. My friends, let me know what you think with a comment down below. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. I think I'm gonna call the stream now. So it's been a couple hours. Once again, thanks all of you for joining me. Like, subscribe, the usual bits. So I'm gonna port this over to YouTube if y'all want to watch it. It does take a little bit of time, but y'all can reference it. I can even reference it once it's posted over there. So. And in the meantime, in the short term, I'm going to figure out how to stream to both platforms simultaneously. So, because my YouTube, I have more YouTube subscribers, and I'll cast a wider net for the audience. So, but once again, thank you for joining, and I will see you next time.